10 things your feet tell you about your diabetes. Let's go. Number 1, pain in your legs or cramping in your buttocks, thighs, or calves during physical activity. If you feel pain or tightness in your legs while exercising, it may not be an issue of fitness. It could be diabetes-related peripheral neuropathy, a condition which causes nerve damage and results in aching or cramps in your legs when you walk or run. If left untreated, diabetes can cause serious long-term complications to these nerves and arteries that can lead to disability. So if running makes you feel like you just kicked a beehive with your sneakers, get checked by your doctor to ensure diabetes is not the culprit. Number 2, tingling, burning, or pain in your feet. Does it feel like your feet are on fire? You're suddenly experiencing tingling, burning, or pain in your feet. Well, diabetes may be to blame. Often, diabetes can cause nerve damage known as diabetic neuropathy, like I said. And while the sensation can be downright uncomfortable, there is good news. Diabetes is manageable and treatments are available. Well, if you haven't tried SugarMD neuropathy support, I would say you are missing a lot. You will have a shield and protection and healing within the next few months by using this product. So check it out on our website at sugarmds.com. We run out of stock sometimes for certain quantities, but we will always have something in stock. So if we are out of 180 count, we will have 60 count. If we are out of 60 count, we will have 180 count. So don't think that we are out of stock entirely. Just because our supplements are so popular, we go out of stock, we can't keep up with it sometimes. But believe me, it will be there. We'll make sure that our supplements are there. We keep a reserve all the time, so you can either get a 60 count or 180 count bottles. Let's move on to the next. I would say number 3, loss of sense of touch or ability to feel heat or cold very well. It is a strange sensation to lack the sense of touch or be numb to changes in the temperature. So people who have diabetic neuropathy often experience this, as their diabetic foot can no longer feel the heat or cold despite being exposed to it. Sounds dangerous, right? This is a disability that can make everyday activities that require sensitive skin difficult and irritating. However, there are things you can do, such as wearing appropriate clothing, like diabetic socks. Make sure that you never go barefoot, and looking out for open cracks. So most people expect the doctors to check their feet every 3 to 6 months. That's not enough. You have to check it every day, okay? So if you're checking your feet every day and you're aware of what's going on your feet, you will be the best doctor because you are on it and you see the changes, because your doctor doesn't know how your feet looked 3 months ago, but you can, right? So that will make living with diabetes, a diabetic neuropathy, a lot easier. Number 4, a change in the shape of your feet over time. We all know that over time our bodies change, right? Our hair turns gray. I'm lucky, my family doesn't have the gray hair as early, so we get the gray hair after our 50s, 60s. But we all accumulate wrinkles, and we accumulate wisdom. For those of us with diabetes, though, our feet may even change shape. How's that? Well, nobody ever talks about the fact that sometimes our feet, which used to be so dependably shaped, like the reliable foot you draw in an art class, it can change into something quite unusual, something tilted or weird looking. Diabetes make it, for example, longer or wider than they used to be. And something called Charcot neuropathy or arthropathy, which makes your joints on top of each other and it looks very ugly. So if that's the case, and if you think that your joints and your bone they all have their own mind and they're doing whatever they want and they're not staying in shape, serious problem. Make sure you see a podiatrist for that. Number 5, loss of hair On your toes, feet, and lower legs. Believe it or not, having diabetes could mean losing more than just your energy. In fact, people with the condition are at risk of experiencing hair loss on their toes, their feet, and lower legs. While it may seem odd to have hair growing in those places in the first place, don't worry, this phenomenon has a scientific explanation. Now, what's happening here is diabetes changes the blood flow and circulation throughout your body, which can cause disruption in the growth patterns on areas like your hair on your toes and your feet and your legs. So if you're suffering from hair loss down there, I mean your legs, it might be time to book an appointment with your vascular doctor or cardiologist. Number 6, dry, cracked skin on your feet. Do you ever look down and see your feet looking more like a desert train? Well, sure, living in a dry climate may be the blame, but if that dryness extends to cracked skin, it is wise to consider the possibility of a greater underlying issue. Now, diabetes is one of the possible culprits behind particularly dry, cracked skin on your feet. So remember to take every sign very seriously. Make sure you stay ahead of the game and regularly visit your endocrinologist, your podiatrist, and maybe dermatologist. After all, how can you show off that pedicure with painfully scaly tootsies, right? Number 7, a change in the color and temperature of your feet. Again, if your feet is always cold, it can certainly be an unfortunate trait to have. Some people just have it, but it could also be a sign of something far worse. If you didn't have that before and now you're starting to experience cold feet. Well, diabetes has long been linked to changes in the temperature and color of our extremities, particularly when it comes to your feet, right? But if you notice your toes looking a bit bluer than usual, or feeling as if they never get quite warm, then you may wish to go and get checked out, because it can be a sign of serious vascular problem. Number 8, thickened yellow toenails. I see that all the time in my patients. It's never fun to have an infection, but when it involves your nails, it is enough to make your toes curl, right? If you're a diabetic, chances are you have experienced some thickened yellow toenails, or you will. Maybe both of those things, right? Likely it is not all doom and gloom. While they may look unsightly and can be painful, they don't cause any serious health issues. It can make your diabetes control worse in some cases. But if nothing else makes you feel better in the moment, there is still a glimmer of hope that with proper care and treatment, and we have a video actually on how to get rid of toenail fungus. So ask that question, put that in text, and put Sugar MD keyword next to it in any YouTube search function. You will find it. You will be able to get back to your regular life in no time by taking those precautions. Some people will need serious medications to get rid of it, but hopefully you're not going to be one of them. If you catch it early and do something early, like we discussed in that video, I think you will be all right. Now, fungus infections, number 9. Now, where is it? And this time I'm talking about athlete's foot between your toes. Now, fungal infections such as the athlete's foot between your toes are fairly common among diabetics. It is really enough to make you crouch down and sneeze in a corner. While these pesky fungal infections can be caused by factors such as humidity and sweat, which you should not have as a diabetic in your feet, diabetes can contribute to the occurrence of the outbreaks, especially if your diabetes is not well controlled. Fortunately, there are remedies from the over-the-counter products to antimicrobial, antifungal stuff that can help. Number 10 is a blister or sore or an ulcer or an infected corn or an ingrown toenail. Again, Foot pain, blisters, sores, and ulcers, they may be all too familiar to those with us with diabetes, right? However, having a bad corn or ingrown toenail takes the cake. Having diabetes means having enough to worry about without trying to figure out why your toes are unhappy. But don't feel hopeless. With the help of Sugar MD products, Sugar MD YouTube channel, our diabetes book, you will have control. You will be armed to manage all of these conditions. Remember to have regular doctor visits though. Sometimes people just listen to our YouTube videos and they just think that they don't have to see doctors anymore. That is not what I'm saying. Always see your doctors. Our YouTube channel is there to support you in addition to your regular medical care. Now, the most important part, how to prevent all of these problems or prevent them from turning into serious problems. Listen to this part of the video very carefully. Check your feet every day for cuts, redness, swelling, sores, blisters, corns, calluses, or any other changes to your skin or nails. How do you do that? Well, if you're flexible, you can just turn your feet up and just look at them, or use a mirror, or ask a family member to help you if you cannot see the bottom of your feet. I would also say every day, wash your feet in warm, not hot, warm water. Don't let your feet get wet too long. Dry your feet completely and put lotion on top and the bottom, not between your toes, which could lead to that wetness and fungal infections. And never go without shoes. Even inside your home, you should always wear shoes, socks, slippers to avoid getting hurt. Make sure there are no pebbles or other things inside your shoes and the lining is smooth. What else you can do? Yeah, of course, right? Wear comfortable shoes, either diabetic shoes, or if you cannot get them, there are a lot of good shoes out there that are very comfortable. At least try the new shoes if you're trying to buy them at the end of the day when your feet are usually their biggest. Slowly get used to those new shoes. Make sure they don't hurt you because sometimes, they will create friction and blisters. At first, I would say wear them for an hour or two a day until they feel good and not hurt you, right? So wear socks with your shoes at all times, if possible, diabetic socks. Cut your toenails straight across and use a nail file to smooth any rough edges. If you cannot see or reach your feet, get a podiatrist to cut your toenails. Don't take corns or calluses off yourself, okay? Especially don't use over-the-counter products to do it because they can actually burn your skin and cause more damage. And if you don't feel it, it's gonna be bad. Get your feet checked every time, at least I would say every 6 months. Get ready, get your shoes off, show it to your doctor, and especially if something is going on. If your doctor is saying, hey, do you have any calluses or corns? Do you have anything on your feet? You should be saying, well, yeah, if you just say, I don't check it, that's the wrong answer. Make sure you check it, and if there is something, share with your doctor so your doctor can check it as well. So if you have nerve damage, like I said, make sure you see a podiatrist on top of your endocrinologist and get a full exam at least once a year by your podiatrist. So, another thing you may want to pay attention is don't stop the flow of blood. So when you're sitting, for example, put your feet up and wiggle your toes for a few minutes and maybe a few times a day. I would say choose activities that are easy on your feet as well, such as walking with a comfortable shoe, maybe riding a bike, or even swimming is better. So you can also check with your coach or doctor which activities are best for you to stay away from possible problems. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something in today's video. If you did, please give a thumbs up, like and share. And if you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Click on subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.